Because Supercars and NASCAR are competing against each other. The domestic shit, that doesn't matter anymore. We have to get to 18, 20 events. No choice.
He said he couldn't see where he was when he got out of the car. He had that much kangaroo blood and guts and fur and whatever.
I mean, they were going through the grate when they first showed that car. They had so much time to react.
How good is Michael? That guy just wins everything. Other than baseball, he wins in everything he's tried.
Yeah, I saw that LeBron James is not only chasing 6 championships, he's now chasing a Daytona 500 ring.
I saw that.
Oh no! He's in the fence! The boat's in the fence! They're all in the fence! Oh, unbelievable!
Sound check.
Sound check. Cheers, Barbs. That's a boy, that one. That's made a mess.
Cheers, mate. Episode 101. Here we are.
The new chapter begins. We made it. We've survived past the Hundy, and we've started a new century.
We have. Eyes are firmly set on 1,000.
1,000 before the end of the year. Big goals, big dreams and aspirations. But we're debriefing 3 things tonight. Well, not debriefing. We're debriefing 2, previewing 1. Bathurst 12-hour. We're going to start locally tonight, so stick around. We've got Bathurst 12-hour quick recap coming up. Then the big one, Daytona 500.
America's greatest race.
It was a very good race. I mean, to be honest, the 12-hour is probably one of the best races of the 12-hour I've seen in a very long time. And then we're previewing the Supercars at Sydney Motorsport Park this weekend. There's already been a bit of discussion, well, a bit to talk about with that.
Yeah, round 1. So Supercars are back. Thank God.
I know, it feels like it's been ages, dude. And then, I mean, the crazy thing is, NASCAR's back again this weekend already at Echo Park. So I think that's what's made Supercars feel like the wait has been forever. It is exciting they're back. Can't wait to actually watch some Aussie Supercars go around the track again. We've got 3 races this weekend, so plenty of action. But, yeah, it's hard when NASCAR's every weekend. It feels like it's been forever waiting for this season to start when we've already seen 2 amazing NASCAR races. I mean, Bowman Gray was interesting, but Daytona I thought was really good.
One thing with NASCAR is it's always entertaining at some point. Sometimes it might take a couple of hours to get there, but there's always something going on. And they just promote it so well. The content's, there's so much content always getting served up to you on it from teams, drivers, podcasts, whatever it is. So you feel like even when they're not racing, there's always stuff going on. It never really has a lull period, which we obviously get over here. Plus we're only racing, 12, 13 weekends, 14 weekends a year.
Yeah. I have to say, one positive thing really about Supercars that I think is it's probably better than almost any motorsport category around the world is our actual track event. You look at the Adelaide 500 and I was trying to watch the Daytona event itself. So like not just the on track, but every time there's an aerial shot, have a look around, see what was happening. And it really relies heavily on the 500, the race itself. Whereas our events, I mean, the race, I think supercar racing is still one of the best categories in the world to watch.
Hands down. But
you look over your left shoulder, there's something going on, right shoulder, right in front of you, got supercars running around you. There's something at every angle of the racetrack, like internally and even externally of the track. There's concerts and things happening as well as a supercross on the infield. And I remember who won Xfinity last year that came over? Jesse Love, saying how he has never been to an event like that before. So I do want to kick it off with something really positive because we've been critical, well, I have, especially about the lack of promotion. And then just like you mentioned then, bringing up how good a job NASCAR is doing with promoting the sport and making sure that, I think they're getting back to where they come from a little bit and getting back to what defines NASCAR. That's probably where we're a little bit lost in our way. But in terms of the event, our events rival and I think beat even the Daytona 500. You see the crowd, it's packed, but the event itself is a lot more to do at ours than anything else. And I still think our racing, road course racing, is the best.
Yeah, and each event varies. I mean, Adelaide is run by Adelaide. So, they obviously, that group that
push it.
Yeah, that group that run that event are the ones that bringing sprint cars and motocross and putting all that stuff together. But it is true. We have great events, great racing. So we're going to start off by talking about the 12-hour, which is actually a Supercars owned event now. So for those that don't know what the 12-hour is, 12-hour endurance race based on GT3 product racing, which is a BOP formula of racing. So similar to, I guess, like Daytona 24-hour and things like that, and any of the IMSA races that you'll see, similar style cars, GT3 machinery. I'm not a fan of BOP racing in general. We saw it this weekend or last weekend, with the 12-hour. A lot of Mercedes turned up. I think there was 10 or so AMG GT3s. They looked like the car to be in, so much so that on the Saturday, I think it was after qualifying, they actually changed, so SRO changed what the balance of performance was to try and make it a bit evener, because
Right.
top 3 in qual were Mercs.
Yeah.
And some of the other teams, rightfully so, probably thought there was a bit of a deficit. So I just grabbed some stuff for those that are interested in the 12-hour and what BOP, which is balance of performance, what changes were made. So to the Mercedes AMG GT3s, they added a 5 kilograms to all of those 10 entries.
Right.
The Ferrari 296 GT3 was reduced weight by 15 kilograms, which is quite big.
Yeah. It's
They
massive.
also increased the turbo boost pressure in the mid-range and mandated a rear wing angle reduction. So obviously they thought the Ferrari was a bit of a slug. The brand new Chev Corvette Z06, they were really slow. Like, I think they had a full factory car with like Earl Bamber and the likes, all these guns, and I think they qualified 20-something. They were nowhere. So they actually reduced weight by 10 kilograms, reduced the minimum rear wing angle from 6.5 to 6.2 degrees. So again, they tried to make them obviously faster in a straight line. The Aston Martin Vantage and the McLaren 720, they got reduced weight by 10 kilos. So...
Fuck, I mean, it's massive. This was done all after qualifying.
Yeah, this was done Saturday night, I believe, after quali. And
It's hard to believe, right? You had a 12-hour race. Qualifying is not overly important. I think we even saw at the end the Mercs that struggled in qualifying or had issues, then qualified. They made up 28 places in the race and won the race.
yeah,
It's definitely... I can see the benefits as to why you'd sandbag qualifying. You know, and as a manufacturer, you could get all of your drivers to...
and
leave something or even detune the car slightly to make sure that you get it for the race. Because making big changes like that after qualifying changes the complexity of the whole weekend.
Yeah, no, it is. It was. I'm surprised. Good on them for doing it, making a change, and they would have only made it if the data was there and they thought, no, we need to make it. Like they would only do it, as we know, they don't like doing stuff on race weekends.
Yeah.
So historically, it'll always be the documents will come out pre-event.
Yep.
On if there's going to be changes. It's very rare they'll do it once practice has started or an event has actually started.
Right.
Just on that too, the McLaren also got a slight increase in turbo boost pressure. So that was interesting.
See, this is why we didn't preview it. It's just a lottery. I mean, more so than the Daytona 500 final lap.
Correct. I mean, you know, and when we spoke to, we've had friends compete in the Daytona 24-hour. They said a similar thing.
Yeah.
Last year.
And they don't enjoy it.
It's so hard. I've raced GT cars myself, and I've witnessed it firsthand. You know, you'd go somewhere and you're competitive, and then you go the next weekend to a different track, and you're just like, it's like you've forgotten how to drive. You're just nowhere.
Yeah.
So it can be frustrating, but that aside, I think good job on them making the changes, but it was a bit of a Merc fest.
100% it was. And, I mean, did we announce the 3 winners? Or did we just go through the changes? So the 3 winners, first time winners for all 3. Maro Engel.
Yep.
How do you say
This is one's up to you,
Greener's
mate.
last name? This is why you left it up to me.
Yeah, 100%.
Mikhail Greener.
That'll do.
And then Maxime Martin. I know Maxime Martin.
Yeah.
But Maro Engel is one that obviously our fans will be familiar as well. Did some time in Supercars. And
He's been doing this race forever.
unbelievably hadn't won it, which
Yeah.
I actually thought is really surprising. He's done this forever. And the Bathurst 12-hour, he's always in a good car, good drivers. And it never came to fruition for him. So there you go, 3 drivers that are first-time winners at the weekend, which is cool. A few talking points, though. So Kangaroos is the first one. I think even Valentino Rossi said in the press conference, like, something genuinely needs to be done. I know we joke about, you know, we film it in the pre-shows and they show the kangaroos and how beautiful it is on the mountain, and that's Australia. I get that. It's iconic. But how about we drive down the road to film them rather than just wait until they rock up on the mountain and film them on the racetrack? Because Chris Mees is a very lucky boy. The way his helmet, so it tore the windscreen apart. The kangaroo, if anyone doesn't know, he hit a kangaroo at 250 k's an hour on Conrod Straight. It destroyed the car, ripped half the windscreen off and peeled it back, so much so that the blood and all the dirt and soil and everything come through the windscreen all over him, covered him. And the shots of him standing on the sideline, I think there was people originally that thought that was his injury.
Well,
It was shocking.
mate, if kangaroo comes through the screen or whatever, like he could have, as you say, he's a very lucky boy to not get hurt. And
Doesn't take much to cop something in the chest and
or the head.
Like, I couldn't believe.
His visor was up too, because for those that didn't watch it, it was the
Started
first
in the
stint,
night.
so it's dark.
Yep.
So a lot of the guys have their visors up because it is so dark. It's really hard to see. Bathurst isn't lit up.
He's washing his face, spitting out on the side of the track. Like, it must have been everywhere
He said he couldn't see where he was when he got out of the car. He had that much
in his face.
gruesome, but kangaroo blood and guts and fur and whatever. glad Chris is all right, but I totally agree with you, mate. Something needs to be done because it wasn't just in the 12-hour. Across the weekend, there were support categories there racing.
Yeah, the IROC Championship hit
Yeah,
one.
the IRC car
IRC,
and one of the TA2 cars, they crashed into each other, caused a heap of damage because of a kangaroo. I don't know if you've ever experienced a close call there with them, but I've, even myself in like the ute races over the years, I've had kangaroos bounce out in front of me and been lucky not to hit them, but they're always around. They know about it.
Yeah.
So I think time is, it is time for a change. They need to do something because he said like...
Well, look at the times they're racing too. Like we're probably fortunate in the 1000 that we're not at the worst of times. Like dusk or dawn is really when they're... And the 12-hour runs straight through that. So... It does need we've seen the worst of it now, and it's
we saw it with Kai Elmer too, mate, in the 1000.
Actually, it's still not the worst of it. I mean, it could be much worse. We could see worse, and I hope we don't. So I do think maybe it's time to.
Yeah, they need to try and do something.
I don't know what you can do because they can jump so high, but investing some money in better fencing.
Kangaroo wranglers or something for the event that just are like chasing them away or something. I don't know. Like get a quad bike rolling around trying to scare them off into another paddock or something. I don't know.
The thing is, I know the mountain is huge.
Yeah.
And how you do that from internally and externally stopping the kangaroos is a problem because they're inside the track as well. You see them all the time. So, and I mean, there's a lot. Like at the houses you rent on the infield, there's hundreds of kangaroos down there. So it's...
Look, I get it might not be an easy fix, but I think, I don't know, surely something can be done, right?
I'd like to think so. I mean, Rossi speaking out about it is the first, obviously, catalyst. He's done a bit, so people tend to listen. And I think when he said, like, it might just be time we do something again, I don't know what the answer is, but there'll be people out there that do know, and hopefully we can mitigate some risk in the future, because that's a crazy one. Now, Ralph Aron broke his back.
Couple of breaks, yeah.
Yeah, so I did a video talking about it. I still say that he got out of that okay. Because when you see the accident, even the guy that he hit, so I'm not sure of his name, the one that was parked side on.
Yeah, in the Porsche, yep.
If that wasn't left-hand drive cars and it was slightly further forward, I mean, this could have been... That could have also been a deadly incident. I mean, we talk about the group most gruesome and the worst of worst, but I heard of someone today say that they messaged us or commented and said, the problem is you throw a safety car, everyone will whinge about the laps being taken off. So, like, trying to protect the marshals. And this isn't about the marshals. It's actually about the officials. I recorded the video and said officials. Now, I think there's a difference between flag marshals and officials. Officials are the ones that are paid there to make the decisions.
Yeah.
And I think throwing a safety car immediately should not have been... It was the... We all hate seeing a safety car thrown for nothing. But I think in this instance, he was in a position where unless he went the wrong way up the track or reversed up the track, he wasn't able to turn around. So the danger was high. They had only 30 seconds because it was the lap they'd been let past. That lucky dog, again, too late. I think it needs to be 2 laps at the 12-hour. But on the last lap, they let him go on Conrod. He's only 30 seconds up the road on the leaders. And when you see him parked at 90 degrees before the elbow in a blind corner, that should just be safety car immediately. And don't worry about who cares if you get some fan criticism, because the alternative could be a lot worse. And I think he did get away lucky. Obviously, the back injury is horrific. But the severity of that, I mean, that shook me, dude. When I saw that live...
It's a big hit.
I genuinely was like... I was rocked by that accident.
Those cars are strong too. They're all carbon, essentially.
Yeah.
And to blow the front of that thing apart like it did, same with the Kangaroo on the Ford, it's a big hit because generally, GT cars don't fall apart like that because they are quite strong.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of force that's gone through it. And to your point, mate, like safety cars on a 12-hour race, I don't mind if there's safety car because it creates strategy and stuff anyway. Like, as you say, if it's 10-lap race, safety cars are shit.
Yeah.
But if you're there all day, the difference
Look at the Daytona 24 with the fog.
Yeah.
They spent a whole day under it. I mean, what did they do, 7 hours or something under safety car?
Yeah, I think...
They had to refuel 3 safety cars, 4 safety cars or something. So
I don't think in endurance racing that's a valid argument. I think it actually creates opportunity, if anything.
Yeah.
For strategy and for guys to have a rest and whatever, crews to have a rest. So that was interesting. Talking around that, I know a lot of people have been like, how do you fix it? Right? There's no point talking about a problem without a solution.
Yeah.
One thing I thought of, because I know in supercars, and you'll be able to talk to this best, mate, because you've done so many 1000s, but I thought you can get a signal on the dash when something bad's gone on over the top of the mountain, right? Because the argument of this accident was, yes, it's blind, so he couldn't see the flags. There may have been a delay there, plus also he had no comms.
Yeah.
So his comms had dropped out, so the team couldn't say, hey, mate, careful at the elbow, there's a car parked on the entry or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was...
Well, I don't know about GT racing, though, whether they have I've not done Bathurst 12-hour in a GT car.
Oh, yeah, but I'm saying for supercars, it comes up on the dash and lights, right, in the car if there's an incident, right, across the top of the mountain.
Yeah, but
They
ours is
tried-
very unreliable. Like, I just wouldn't
Right.
trust it. Half the time, you almost ignore those.
So there's not a reliable system. And
Yeah.
I thought there was already a system in play because I know even whether how reliable it is, I've got no idea. But I know when you race at Sydney now, for us that is, they give you a MyLapse thing and it's a little light thing that you glue onto your dash and that comes up.
Yep.
So if they go red, yellow, you can actually get some warning it's meant to trigger at the same time. I would have thought that was something like that was already implemented in the race, but clearly it wasn't. For a race that is, it costs $400,000 to enter a car.
Yeah.
To put it on, you've got $1 million machinery rolling around there.
Yep.
They're faster than a supercar, especially across the top and things like that. So they're fast cars, they're moving. I would have thought for the cost of the event, some of that stuff would have already been implemented. I'm sure they're using stuff overseas.
That may well be in there, though. I don't know. But there's a few things that are really easy to change, right? And I think it's unique to this type of racing because you've got such a different level in the drivers.
Yeah, that's true.
Letting cars past. So this is where I hope they really analyse everything because this was an accident waiting to happen, I think, because when you let Lucky Dogs pass on Conrod and then they go green that lap, the guys that just got let through, that could be an AM, on a track with pros and they're a few seconds a lap, they're only just up the road. So if they make a mistake at the grate and they are on the exit, they've got the entire field at race pace coming through the grate. So even if there's a double yellow and someone just sort of underestimates how severe the double yellow is, they come out T-bone them, you've got 20 cars going into them, which could have very likely happened at the elbow. So I think the Lucky Dog should be a lap earlier as well.
Yep.
Give everyone a good opportunity to put a gap on the field and even get closer to their lap back.
Get back onto the back of the train.
It's not as bad in supercars because every driver's at the same level.
Yeah.
So when we get the Lucky Dog, it's very rare or unlikely you're going to catch them. I mean, the gap could be even more than 2 or 3 seconds between the AMs and the pros at that point in the race. So I think bring that forward, definitely. I think the position of the yellow needs to be revised because the double wave yellow where that was is almost it's almost pointless because the only thing he can see at that point, that double waved, is that corner he's facing.
Yeah.
He can't see the exit of the elbow, can barely see the entry of it. And then the one prior, could see all the way down, but they had their back to that flag point.
Yeah.
And I get you're only allowed to bring out the double yellow in the flag zone if the accident's in your zone. But I think at that point there should be the ability to bring it out to the one prior if they can see the incident.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, those people, they shouldn't have their back to... They should have been watching what's going on. You could definitely hear or see the accident. But there's a few things that could definitely be brought in to try and mitigate some of that risk. Yeah. And then if there isn't dash lights for them, that should be in. I think even track lights that could be operated by a button.
I was just going to say track lights, mate, where, you know, JT that's up in the tower calling shots can just go, oh, shit, bang, and just block that zone's a yellow. It's a flashing yellow. Yep. And everyone knows in the driver's wheel they get told what that means and they abide to that.
Yeah, or if it's flashing yellow, that's single. If it's solid yellow, it's double yellow immediately. And he could do the whole top of the mountain.
Yeah.
Because they showed on TV, they were at McPhillamy.
Yeah.
And then that's when they cut.
It was a long time.
So the car was stationary side on, then they went to McPhillamy. So it wasn't like they went to McPhillamy, then came back to there. I mean, they were going through the grate when they first showed that car sitting there. They had so much time to react. This is why I was so critical. And I think what shocked me the most was the terror was like, fuck, they're going to hit. Like, it was so obvious. I'm like, they're going to hit. What's going on? Like, why haven't they called a safety car? Why is there not more yellows? And then you waited, and I don't think it shocked anyone. Like, that's what was scary. We saw it coming. Nothing was done. And it shook me because we have the same officials doing the supercar events, and I think there was just it just wasn't right. You know, I felt pretty strongly about it. I spoke strongly. I don't want to slam individuals because collectively I think those you need to work together. And but as long as they review and bring some change, and that's the Lucky Dog, maybe the light system on the edge of the track. We've asked for this forever. Yeah, and
it's not just individuals. It's, you know, everyone needs the infrastructure. You need the people, the infrastructure. Everything needs to come together to make it work.
Yeah.
So it's not. We're not calling people out or anything, but we're just saying obviously it needs a good review.
Yep.
Hopefully something comes of it because I think there was a couple of incidents that they got lucky on.
100%.
You know, with the Roo, with that crash. It was a great point you made. And just for context for everyone that's listening, we've done the 12 hour together. I've done it 4 times, I think. And it is absolutely one of the hardest races you'll do because of traffic management, to your point. Because you've got AMs out there, you've got different levels of cars. You've got GT4s, Invitational, GT3s. The speed difference is huge at some parts of it. And across the top, as we all know, it's one lane, right? To be on it. So it is really hard. There's marbles. It's a 12-hour race. So if you get offline, people crash. People get tired and fatigued. So it is a very hard race to manage from that point of view. So that was a good point you make. mate, because that's why shit happens on that race. People go, what's happening? It's like, well, you've got a businessman potentially that's just done a 2-hour stint that's never done that before. He's rooted. He started to, miss, traffic and things like that, and things go wrong.
Yeah.
So you've got to be prepared for that. And
it is worth, sorry to cut you off, it's worth winding back, though, to the cause of the accident.
Yeah.
Kai Allen. And took no accountability. I actually thought that was pretty bad. I saw his interview after, and I don't mean to slam him, but I'm like, you're the pro. A guy had made a mistake and was going slow down the mountain. So the Aston Martin was hesitating on passing because you're not meant to pass through yellows, like on the Lucky Dog lap.
Yeah.
So you're not meant to, but obviously the car had a clear issue.
Right.
But Kai Allen misjudged it, rushing to get past him before the elbow and turned him. And I think as a pro, this is where some of the supercar guys, I felt like even James Golding, making an accident or having an accident in a car when you're multiple laps down, you're paid not to do that. Like there's an expectation on you as one of the supercar guys, as a pro, not to make those mistakes. And then to be sort of not laughing about it, but just be like, I don't know what happened. Like he checked up and maybe I misjudged it or something. It was like very dismissive. And it was like, dude, you caused the whole thing. Yeah, he made a mistake and damaged the car, but he's entitled to trundle back to the lane.
Yeah.
So it's up to us as the guys passing to pass safely, not turn the poor bloke, park him in the middle of the track and nearly kill everyone. And then just get out the car at the end and be like, I don't know what he's doing there.
It's a good point, mate, because GT racing, because it's based on it's based on Pro-Am, right? So there is going to be points where someone could be 15 seconds lap slow that you come up on them in the wrong. And that was one of the tricks to that race and surviving, is knowing when to hold them, when to fold them, and who's around you and how slow they are. Hey, Scotty, you know how the hunters just like us like to watch international content, but are forever getting that annoying pop-up saying this content's not available in your region?
I absolutely do, Barbs, and I've actually got the perfect solution that we've been using ourselves, NordVPN. It's a service that protects your internet connection, keeping your data safe while you're out roaming the world on those dodgy Wi-Fi networks. It also hides your location and stops the ads that follow you around after you Google something just once.
It doesn't stop there, Scotty, because one NordVPN subscription can be used on up to 10 devices. So if you're traveling abroad and you want access to the service you already subscribed to, download NordVPN.
Sounds pretty good, Barbs. Well, to get the best discount off your NordVPN plan, head to nordvpn.com/Apex Hunters United. Our link will also give you 4 months off that 2-year plan. And don't stress, Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee takes away all the risk. I'll make sure that the link to their website is in the description of this podcast.
You know what I did love about the supercar taxi drivers? Cam Waters banging it on pole, just showing all the factory pros again. They're in those cars every day of the bloody week. I was like, yes. I mean, Cam's driven GT cars, but bugger all compared to all the hired guns that flew from all over the world, business class to be here.
Yeah. And even looking at some of the average lap time, I actually thought Cam was a standout even in that car compared to Chaz, who's done a lot of GT racing as well for BMW.
And Chaz is amazing. He's been doing stuff this year. So Chaz is amazing in those cars.
Cam was miles ahead. So I thought Cam was a standout.
Yeah. So
unfortunately, Randall had the spin, which cost them. They put him a few laps down. They got back on the lead lap though, and then again, I guess this was probably a shocker. And Barry Ryan was in every way to go next door and go, 100%. What the fuck, guys? Like, factory Merc driver, which was Jaden Ojeda, driving down the infield everywhere, like parking it down the inside of one, blocking into two against a faster Mercedes. Like Chaz was clearly quicker. And then outdrove himself into the wall, damaged the car, and then bounced off the wall and took out Chaz. So, I mean, as a factory guy, again, there's meant to be an expectation of quality when you put someone in the car. And I was I was shocked, dude. And when I saw Barry go next door, I thought, fucking A. Like people, I would 100%. Like, that's...
And I saw people shit-canning Barry online for it, but I'm with you 100%. Barry was in every right to do that. And what he said was perfect. He's a factory Merc guy. We're a Merc customer. Yeah. Why are you blocking and crashing into us and stuff for that when you... So...
I call it, in that instance, I call it pride.
It was ego. It was ego driving at its fight. It was a massive... There was dicks swinging left, right and centre.
And don't take it personally if you do listen, Jaden. I'm just saying in that instance, I feel like...
That's how it looked.
It looked like you didn't want to let another driver pass. It was in a Merc and you're the factory guy. But yeah, it was crazy. That one blew me away. So definitely an instance where... I think going next door and paying them a visit was the least of what you could do in that instance. I'd be pissed. Like 12 hours, they finally got back on the lead lap, dude. That was the first safety car restart, lead lap, back in the fight.
If I was Cam or Randall, Barry wouldn't have had to go in. I would have been blown up deluxe.
100%. Supercars need a tyre just like the GT cars, I believe. So I've had some good chats with a few different people across the last couple of days, and I do like. So this, I want to just touch on this before we move on to Daytona. It's a little bit about supercars, but it's also highlighting what I think made the racing quite good at the 12-hour, and that's the tyre. I think that coming out of the pit lane, having to warm it up, spending a few laps, bringing it up. I saw Randall exited the lane and was immediately under pressure at one point, got past before the tree. But it was really exciting seeing him trying to defend and get a tyre up. Our tyre comes in quite quickly, peaks grip early, and then degs quite hard. I have been an advocate of, like, we need high tyre wear to see an overlap and difference in strategy. This was kind of alternate. It was actually coming out of the lane and having a cold tyre like IndyCar, and they have to battle against guys that might have pitted early but given up track position with that. They've done the tyre phasing earlier. But I thought that was good. So a tyre that takes a bit longer to come in, but then also lasts a lot longer.
Yeah.
It spat off a lot less marbles. So we saw on board with Will Brown, he got wide at 2, was able to actually gather it up and bring it back to the apex. And that you probably wouldn't see often on a supercar weekend. You look at the cutting, you get wide there, you're in the fence, almost guaranteed. Can tell you from experience.
I've been there too, don't worry.
All the greats have, mate, don't worry. But it's one of those things I really liked it. I thought it had multiple racing lines. And if it wasn't for ABS and traction control, I think we would have seen better racing. I think the ABS means that everyone brakes so deep, there's not a lot of overtaking. But the tyre I really liked. I know it's more expensive, but that's why I had the convos I referenced. The biggest expense for us is the rims and everything that goes with it.
So when you say us, you mean supercars?
Supercars, sorry, as a category. Is wheel speed sensors and things like that. That shit's not cheap. So even though we've got a tyre that's $300 a tyre, you've got to have so many more of them. Whereas I was seeing they're double stinting these tyres in the GT, and the racing was still great. And then I think that we'd have less rims and less expenses there, and you can have a more expensive tyre. So you could have a tyre that is $3,000 or $4,000 for a full set. But when you're able to double stint it, you're using half the tyres. Racing could be better. I don't know. I just thought that was one of the things that stood out to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good point because the rims are expensive, the tyre sensors are expensive. As we touched on, storing them.
Yes,
if you've got 60 rims versus 30, having to store them, having to take them all over Australia, all
even
that sort of stuff.
Even the cool rooms for the tyres.
Yeah, because it's got to be temperature controlled.
Testing becomes more valuable as well because a set of tyres that you're actually running around on will still be half decent. Like Sydney Motorsport Park, I got a broken toe, but I'll be honest, I probably wasn't going to get in the car at all anyway because last year I did and we were 5 seconds off the pace on the tyre they gave me.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, it was a waste of fucking time. Kills your confidence.
You just smash your confidence and go, fuck, I've forgotten over Christmas.
Yeah, and I look at the other guys and I'm like, man, they're going to qualify 5 seconds quicker than this. Like, what a waste of time. And that's why I said as well, Sydney Motorsport Park's not a very good test track. It's high tyre wear, and we don't have a tyre that lasts. But I do think we're cost saving in the wrong areas. And I don't know if they're having conversations with everyone, but they definitely should be because saving tyres on this tyre, I don't think, saving money on the tyre, I think it's a bad idea. We're actually bringing in cost elsewhere from what I've heard with needing more of them. And then, like you said, the storing the tyre as well, the cost in that.
Freight, all that.
So, yeah, I think there's a little bit there we could do because I really like the racing at 12-hour. It was only that, to be honest, I feel like the ABS means that almost anyone can brake deep. Yeah,
no, the ABS is definitely, that's what makes it hard when you do come up against, say, an AM because they'll brake at the same point because there's no skill involved.
Yeah, and then the high speed, you just like get out of the way.
It's as long as your leg's strong enough to push the pedal hard enough, you'll stop it. You can brake the car as late as a pro. So just, shout out to Shane Rudges for putting that event on because it looked like a great event too. The racing was great. Well done, mate, to you and your team.
Even the attendance, I think, was quite good. It looked
record.
Honestly, I
think
they had 50. Was great.
55,000. Apparently, all the campsites were pretty full. So yeah, good job, guys. Well
Very
done.
nice. You want to get me a cold one before we crack into NASCAR?
Yeah. What are you having? A gingy?
Ginger beer, I think so. I hope you're enjoying this episode, but I do have to interrupt just quickly to thank our fantastic supporters that allow us to create the content for you. East Coast Car Rentals. If you're in the market for a rental car, think of those guys. And if you'd like a cheeky 15% discount, AHU15 is the discount code there for 15% off. If you're in the market to buy a car, not rent one, Lancaster Motor Group, we've got you covered for new or used cars. So think Lancaster Motor Group. Quadlock, fantastic supporter of our podcast as well. We use their products every single day on the pod using their desk mounts here. Also, we've used them to create the additional content like we did the Adelaide Motorsport Festival using their action camera mounts. So whether it's mounts, phone cases, they've got you covered. Quadlockcase.net. Now, the website for all of these brands that support us will be in the description of this podcast. Back to the show.
Yeah, mate. Actually, I'll need another softie.
Sound check. Daytona 24.
24 or 500?
Jesus.
Sound check.
Daytona 500. We're just talking GT racing. I got all caught up in a moment.
Yeah.
Daytona 500 was on the weekend. I'm going to start with this highlight. 37 of the 41 cars were involved in wrecks.
Yeah, I heard
That's
that.
actually
I heard
wild.
that stat and I thought, I saw a stat too where it was like only Josh Berry was the only person or something that didn't have like any drama like as far as
Throughout the
contact or something. And yeah, that was wild to think.
Yeah, I don't even know how that's possible. And they actually, I did want to say with Will Byron, his car was in the fence more often than it wasn't. And it was in the fight to the end. And we'll get to it, but I actually thought he was, there was a moment where I was out of my seat thinking, he's going to do the three-peat, which no one's done in history. And I
think
thought,
you called that too, didn't you?
I did coming in thinking, I just really wanted to see it because it's never been done before. But the thing was in the fence all day. I think 3 big hits he had. And then on the last lap, he actually took the lead. But Tyler Reddick, number 45 for 2311, took the W. First win for Denny Hamlin as a team owner, Michael Jordan as a team owner.
500 win, that is.
What did I say?
First win. But yeah, first
sorry.
Daytona
It's
500
it's
win.
his 9th win in the Cup Series and first Daytona 500.
Michael?
He's had a wild stat, actually, like 98 top 10s.
Reddick.
Reddick's
He
200 starts and
Reddick's
50%
great.
of them nearly in the top 10.
Yeah, Reddick's great. He's always there. He's a little nugget. He fights hard. But how good is Michael? That guy just wins everything he other than baseball, he wins in everything he's tried.
Yeah, I saw that LeBron James is not only chasing 6 championships, he's now chasing a Daytona 500 ring.
I saw that. Yeah, someone said something like, that's the debate finished.
Yeah, I loved the celebration as well in the pit lane after the race. For reference, Tyler Reddick's 5'5" and 57 kilos, and he was standing on the podium hugging Michael Jordan at eye line. It was hilarious because Michael didn't even get up on the podium.
Yeah,
He'd
right.
obviously just tower over
So
the
tall.
whole lot of them. But it was very cool. He finished 4th in 2024. He went 12 months without a win last year. So he went from sort of hero to zero last year and had some real health battles with his young bloke. So I think this was a great way to start a season when he would have been at the lowest of lows last year. No win, health problems for his son. And to come out and do it, I don't think there was many people that would be disappointed with the result there or the winner. I'm sure there's a few people disappointed with the results themselves personally, but I think the winner at the end of the day was a good one. He took the lead multiple times throughout the day. And
feel good win. Reddick with the stuff that their family's got on, as you said, with the health of their young bloke. Denny Hamlin as a team owner getting win. He's had a shit off season, obviously with the passing of his dad and his mum and the fire and.
Well, his mum didn't pass.
No, sorry, but the fire of the house, his mum's been injured and all that sort of stuff. So,
3-time winner and now
good win.
owner winner, which is pretty cool.
And then MJ, I mean, I love Michael Jordan. I'm sure everyone does. How can you not? The guy's just a goat. So that was pretty bloody cool. Did you want to play the MJ interview, mate?
I will actually just quickly. We'll go through the stats of the race before we rip in, but there was 25 different leaders, the most of all time, and 65 lead changes, which was the second most of all time. But like you said, Buzz, we do have a couple interviews here. So if you pass me the cable, I'll plug my phone in.
Yes, sir.
And we just sort of let the people speak for themselves. I thought Reddick's interview after the race was really good. Talking about his son and the emotion of winning the race.
Tyler, last year, what a year for you. I know you were disappointed. I know you had things going on with your baby boy physically, the team and NASCAR. To get here right now in this moment, you're a Daytona 500 champion.
I know last year was really hard for all of us, hard for me. When you're a Cup driver and you get to this level and drive for Michael Jordan, it's expected you win every single year. And for us to go on that drought that we did made us really look hard in the mirror, and just really proud of everyone on our Chumba Casino Toyota Camry. Worked really, really hard in the offseason, and there was many points in this race where we weren't making decisions that we wanted to, but we just reset. And every opportunity that we got to resack, we went back at it, and just speechless. I didn't know if I'd ever win this race. It's surreal, honestly. And honestly, the best part is my son asked before the race, "Are you finally going to win this race?" And something about today just felt right.
Tyler.
I love that. And this is Michael's.
Back in victory lane, Michael Jordan has made his way here. Sir, we talked before the race. 4 horses in it. You are a Daytona 500 champion. How does that sound?
I can't even believe it. Yeah, I mean, it was so gratifying. I mean, we had 4 guys that were really fighting, that was helping each other out. I mean, you never know how these races are going to end, right? It's like you just try to survive. And, I thought Riley did an unbelievable job by pushing at the end. That shows you what teamwork can really, really do. I mean, he doesn't get enough credit. He won't get enough credit, but we feel the love. We understand exactly what he did. And I mean, we just hung in there all day. I mean, we great strategy by the team, and we gave ourselves a chance at the end. And look, I'm ecstatic. I mean, I don't even know what to say. It feels like I won a championship, but until I get my ring, I won't even know.
What a crazy run he has had. Actually, he's won the in-season championship as a owner as well, though.
Yeah.
Yet to win the outright Cup Series championship, but
it's coming.
Michael Jordan has had just crazy time in NASCAR already. You have the Daytona 500 under his belt and win the court battle in the off season as well. Not a bad start for them into 26 now.
It is a great stat. How could you not love it?
I thought that Reddick's little mention of his boy too, that's pretty funny, isn't it? I'm sure there's a lot of parents that could relate to that. There's a few times with Frosty, particularly listening to him talk to his kids and stuff. It must be special. And then I think, seeing him on the roof of the car with his first son, I think it is, and celebrating that, be a wild moment. I mean, even Kyle Larson, when he won the championship last year, said at least like they're a little bit older now, so they're able to celebrate with you and actually appreciate the moment. But
I'm sure just, like winning any race is a great feeling, but then being able to share it with like your kids and stuff would just make it an even better feeling. So that's pretty cool. And I love how they always get their kids in the car and they like drive them into victory lane. They do a burnout with
even when they do the burnouts, they're like OH&S clearly isn't a thing in America. I mean, they finished. Did you see Josh Berry? Ryan Preece finished the race. So the interview was going on with Tyler Reddick, and as they're celebrating, just in the background, Ryan Preece just crosses the line in reverse, and like no one noticed it. I saw it pop up on the socials. I watched the interview, and I'm like, fuck, I didn't even see Preece do that.
Classic.
But just quickly, we'll run over the top 10.
Yeah,
it's almost irrelevant because as they crossed the line, it was just a smouldering wreck.
Shit going over. I'll read it out for you. How's that sound?
Go on then.
We'll bring it from 10 to 1. So 10 was Bubba Wallace, so Tyler Reddick, who won its teammate. Josh Berry in 9th. Riley Herbst, again, he is a 2311 driver. He was in 8th. Chris Buescher was 7th. Zane Smith was 6th.
He was in it to the end.
He won stage 1. He had a great day out there. Brad Kay was 5th with his broken leg. That was a solid drive too. Chase Elliott was 4th. Man, he nearly had it. He was there right to the end. Joey Logano 3rd. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was 2nd. And then Tyler Reddick won it. So
Stenhouse won in 22, didn't he? Or 23?
Oh, you're asking me questions I don't know now, Scotty.
Anyway.
We'll just go with yes.
We might be wrong. But you know who I was actually... So we'll get into Riley Herbst because we've got an interview there as well from Brad Kay talking about what he thought there. Yeah. But... Dude, when I saw Brad Kay at the front, I thought, fuck, this would be a good story. Like, just makes it back 8 weeks out from breaking his leg.
Yeah.
And the run he had, I mean, if I'm honest, I think if Riley Herbst had have got across, if he'd have just done it earlier, and they've said in his data, he actually tapped the brake. He panicked behind Chase Elliott and actually had to tap the brake, 100 bar of pressure. Mm. And that's what, I think, checked the car up enough that Brad got the run on him.
Right.
Had he, even if his spotter was a little bit earlier and told him to go to the outside, I think he could have got the push. And it would have been very close, I reckon, between both 2311 cars. I don't know who would have got it. I still think, I don't know, I still think Reddick might have got it, but I think if Herbst had got to the outside, that'd be his first win too, wouldn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
And he raced there. Like, he was 16th, I think, with 3 laps to go. So that would have been a feel-good one. But I was quietly excited when I saw Brad too. Like, the last lap, I mean, I've actually written down in our notes a little bit later, the last lap, I think I went for 4 different drivers.
Yeah. The last 4 laps were intense.
I was even like, fuck, even McDowell. I'm like, Jesus, McDowell's going to win this. And then the
real show one, I would have had the shit.
Yeah, I knew you would. But I was like, I wasn't actually going for him. It's who I thought might win. I'm like, fuck, surely McDowell won't. Then once when Hocevar got through, I thought, okay. Like, I even said, I chatted to Roland yesterday, Roland Dane, and we chat about motorsport a lot. And I said to him, I tell you what, he's the guy I've said on the podcast a number of times. I don't want to race the guy, but I love watching him.
Yeah, 100%.
And I thought he was a good pusher all day. He raced well. And then when he took the lead, I thought, holy fuck, he took the lead at the White. Yeah. And I thought, he's going to bring this home and do it. Hunters, I just want to take a moment to thank one of our fantastic supporters, Shaw & Partners Financial Services. Shaw & Partners are a leading national investment advice and wealth management firm. They act for and on behalf of individuals, institutions, corporates, charities, and family offices. So, if you're looking for advice or assistance with investments or strategies, look no further than Shaw & Partners Financial Services. With a 35-year history and 8 offices strategically placed all over Australia, their financial advisors are within reach and ready to provide tailored solutions and advice. For more information, follow the link in the description of this podcast. Back to the show.
4 laps to go, Spire had 2 cars that could have won it.
Yeah.
2311 had 3 cars or 2.5.
Bubba Wallace, Herbst,
3?
and the winner Reddick.
Heim was already gone by then. But I thought, just on that, when you were talking about Riley, I think Corey Heim had flashes of greatness during the day. He dominated trucks. I think all of the 2311 guys were really solid in points all day.
Corey Heim, I mean, he is a star, isn't he? And he's obviously very experienced on those ovals. And I think the comparison between him and Connor, say, is probably unfair. I don't think Connor hasn't done that much on super speedways.
No, Corey's done more than Connor, yeah.
So, I mean, for me, and the reason I say that is because I actually felt like it was almost evident when Connor got out front that he hadn't been in that position many times. Like, he was like, it looked like he was driving tight, like what Cletus McFarlane said in the truck. He said he was just white knuckling the thing, and when it would slide, he wasn't just letting the thing gather itself up.
Squiggly.
And it looked like that with Connor a little bit when he was out front. There was the nerves there. He sideswiped Allgaier twice before wrecking. I just thought Corey Heim, when he was out front, though, looked smooth as, calm as ice, but cool as ice. But I think when he turned Hamlin, that was the first big flaw. I thought, fuck, you're going to hate this guy now. I texted you that day going, geez, Heim's doing well. And then he wrecked Hamlin. I thought,
I just thought, geez, awkward in the trailer because Denny's his boss, because Denny owned 2311. He's wrecked him. It also took out Seabell. So it took out 3 or 4 Toyotas in that shunt that were main Toyota drivers. And I was like,
about that.
You'd be going up to the CEO of Toyota and going, sorry, sir, go to your boss, Denny. Sorry, mate. Go to Joe Gibbs. Sorry, mate. So, but I mean, that's Daytona, right? They still won it, so Toyota will still be pumped. They actually won't give a shit.
Yeah.
But if it had gone the other way, it'd probably be a far more awkward conversation. You want to play that interview?
I was just thinking that before we go into our opinion, we might as well go into what Brad Kay had to say about who wrecked him?
Yep. Riley
Herbst. So let's listen to that, and then we can listen to Chase Elliott as well and see what he thought of the finish.
Yeah, a lot of chaos. Last restart, I gave William Byron a great push, and just wasn't enough to move our lane. I was giving him all I had, and then right here at the end, I had this huge run, and the 35 wrecked us. So really disappointed. He tore up the 9, tore up the 22, a bunch of cars that didn't deserve to be wrecked. So that was a big bummer and really stupid, but still a decent day for us to come home with a top 5 and to be competitive and have a shot to win, Josh. Yeah, a lot of chaos.
I love how professional Brad Keselowski is and have a shot to win, Josh.
Yeah.
I remember I met him we were at lunch with Tim Cindric, and Brad came and met us and said hello, and I just remember being like, the way he spoke, it was like a commercial, it was just so proper but yeah.
Proper NASCAR. Austin Cindric was the same when he was here at the bar, mate.
That's true, yeah.
Like, these guys are just professional.
Commercial weapons.
Yeah.
But what was your thoughts? I quickly gave it on, and now we've heard what Brad Keselowski had to say. He didn't mince his words. I think even just the way he said that he wrecked, everyone pretty much, cars that didn't need to be wrecked. What did you think of the move?
I'm not going to read into too much. I think there's probably 2 things that were probably going through his mind. One, he had just pushed his teammate to potentially the win, and that would have been almost priority because he's the junior burger. Let's remember that. So mentally he might have been like, my job here is to play rear gunner for my long-term career,
Yep.
And I probably think he either misjudged. I don't think he intentionally cut across the nose, and so he either misjudged it or it was just he hasn't done a lot of cup racing yet. So whether he was still just misjudged, it wasn't used to how quick Brad was coming up, and Brad had a good push. So either that, and it's just misjudgment on shit end of the race, that stuff happens, or he's like, if I do this, it's going to guarantee wreck the rear, and I'm playing teammate here.
Yeah.
So either way, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily that bad. I mean, if I was in that position and I wasn't trying to go for the win myself, I'd be like, well, my next best thing is to make sure that Toyota and my teammate wins. So, you're going to upset some people.
Yeah.
But that's NASCAR. They wreck all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I think Denny Hamlin did a really good debrief on his podcast about it, and that was where I'd heard he was watching their data. He was going through every car's data on the podcast and analysing it, and that's where I think he almost panicked because he had such a good run. I feel like he was torn between, do I push Reddick or do I go for the win myself? And the indecisiveness meant he was about to just bump Chase Elliott. And instead of doing that, he tapped the brake, which is where they said he tapped the brake at 100 bar pressure. And I think that ruined his run because as he did that, he's gone for the right, like to the outside going, fuck, I should go for the win. And he said, you're 600 feet from the line. He would not have been looking in his mirror at that point. And in that split second as well, at that speed, he's not going to have time to check his peripherals or his camera and make sure he's clear. Even the comms from his spotter, he said, you're not fast enough in that moment to make a clear decision, so you've got to trust your gut. And he said he'd have been looking at the line going,
I'm there.
I can see it. I'm just going to fucking go for it.
And just second away. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, they wrecked. I don't think Brad Kay, I mean, it was actually the way, again, Denny broke it down, it sounds like it was going to be very close. He was doing 5 kilometres an hour faster, and he had 600 feet to close about 4 car lengths. So it would have been marginal.
Would have been a photo finish. I still think Reddick would have got up.
But I actually think what would have made it more interesting is if Herbst got across.
Yeah.
And got the bump, because then it's only 3 car lengths, and he's got a bigger push off of Keselowski.
Yeah.
So I don't think Brad Kay was going for the win, but
I think if Riley got in front of Brad though, he was getting wrecked. Like Brad wasn't going to lift.
No, but he might have just got a massive push and fucking won the thing.
But I think Brad complaining about them getting in a wreck. I'm like, I think either way,
You reckon?
it was probably ending in a wreck, and there was only 2 cars crossing the line with straight cars. So
the order was nearly no different.
No.
When they wrecked, I went through it today, and they crossed the line, and they all made it across the line. It just was a slightly different order. They still scored their points.
Like we've been there, mate. We know how fast they're going. Like as you say, they could crash on the exit of 4 and still end up at turn 1.
Exactly, yeah. Chase Elliott, he was in the box seat and unfortunately couldn't throw a double block and had to obviously let one go, but he breaks down the end of the race pretty well. It's funny, I feel like the media centre in NASCAR is just the care centre.
Yeah.
Formula One do it in the media pen. NASCAR, because they all crash at the end, they just go straight to the care centre for their interviews.
100%.
But here's Chase Elliott breaking down the end of the race.
What happened in your perspective on that final lap?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure what happened with the first wreck. Kind of obvious that's a little, further around, but we ended up, kind of getting gifted the lead, and the 38 and I had got out by ourselves down the back, and he'd given me a good shove off into 3, and then it was kind of just he and I, and at that point I just felt momentum shift, like there was going to be another run coming behind us there at some point, and unfortunately that was accurate. And then at that point in time you're just on defense, and man, that's a really, really tough place to be, truthfully. And I obviously, looking back, you can run it through your mind 1,000 times. Do you do something different? Do you I feel like if I had thrown a double block on the 45, probably would have just crashed us at that point in time. So I feel like you had to kind of pick your battles. I thought maybe, somebody would pick me up on the top and you might have one more run to the line, but unfortunately ended up, getting turned around. But appreciate all the effort, everybody. Hendrick Motorsports, Napa, Chevrolet. Thought we had a good speed week down here. And, obviously hate to, just really sucks to be that close and, come off turn 4 with the lead and not finish it off. But that's part of this event, and unfortunately we were on the bad end of it today.
Not much you can do, I think, at the end of those super speedway races. The closing gaps, is fuck what you can do. And like you said, like Brad, he's not lifting.
No.
At that point, you're just trying to make it to the line.
Yeah, I think Chase's evaluation of it is pretty accurate. Like, as you said, there's probably not much you could do. He really got wrecked if he threw a block. He didn't have a teammate there to push him.
Yeah.
He was just unlucky. And the thing is, too, on that last lap, if the caution comes out, whoever's leading that time wins. But they didn't throw the caution.
Yep.
Because that shunt happened, I think, just before the start of the last lap. It was like a couple of meters before the line or something.
No, it was on the last lap. It was on the back straight, but they decided not to, and it was consistent to the duel as well. So the duel they let finish under green. It was 2 different officials, so it wasn't the same person that made the call. And I think a few people have said that they don't mind providing the decision is consistent. And so finishing under green, I think the only issue would be if someone was seriously injured and maybe medical can't get to them as fast, given it's a 50-second lap, right? So if it's at the start of the final lap, it's 40 seconds until a medical team can enter the track, and that can be a long time in a critical moment. But other than that, I think the way they looked at it was, maybe no one was even in the wall. I think they actually all finished the race. They just spun down onto the infield. Yeah. So they probably assessed it, I think made the right call to let the last lap run out, definitely for edge of the seat racing.
I think
we'd waited all day for it.
Yeah, I think it was the right call, but it's just again, I can't remember who was leading at that point now, but it's it can fall that way in NASCAR sometimes. So I think it was definitely the right call to finish under green, because then we got that.
It ended up being nearly Reddick, because Hocevar got the punt from, I think it was even Zane Smith, maybe, spun across, took out McDowell, went down the infield, and I think Reddick actually took the lead at that point, but then Zane Smith and Chase Elliott ended up coming through and taking it off him.
Yeah, okay.
And then at the back end, Riley Herbst gave Reddick, just one bump, and it just slingshotted him around the outside. But even the closing speed of Herbst, everyone's talking about the moment where Reddick swoops around and splits between Herbst and Zane Smith and Chase Elliott. But actually Herbst had a good run as well. It was just equally as good, but had nowhere to go for the lead. But we'll come back to Hocevar because he did get turned when he was leading a race, and we've got his debrief as well. But Shane had one hell of a race, and I do feel like I think some people will have taken notice of that race and be slightly shitting himself. And also his post-race interview, he was saying how disappointed he was. And I think he's disappointed. Being disappointed is a good thing because he's disappointed because he had speed. I don't think it's like just crashing out when there might have been a chance. I think it was like all day he was fast and raced through.
We've had 2 ovals so far this year, the Clash and here, and both time he's led laps.
3 laps he led this one. The finishing order doesn't look great. He finished 30th, but obviously he got caught up in the wreck with... It was that massive one down onto the front straight.
He started 13th. By lap 5, he was
6th.
3rd, I had in my notes or something, but he'd already moved his way through. And he was there, and he was there on pace. He was racing well, he was drafting well, he was pushing good. So Shane did an awesome job. And, to your point, mate, I just think, we've been saying it all along, but, I definitely reckon there'll be people that are starting to go, oh, shit, I think he's starting to work this out, and their cars are getting better.
I'd like to know why he struggled so much in one lap speed in qualifying, because even in the duel, so he was in duel 1, which for those, if you don't know, if you're not into or you don't watch a lot of NASCAR, I'm torn on this one whether I like the format or not, but they actually go all in qualify. 41 cars set their time. There was a knockout which we went through in the pre-brief, but then they go into a split 2-part qualifying race. So they have duel 1 and duel 2, which they just split the field effectively down the middle, odd and even. You go race. Shane raced through from the back end of his field to finish up 6th, I think he was. And then duel 2 went and did their race, and they bring them back together. So first in duel 1 is pole, first in duel 2 is P2, and it just goes on throughout the field. So he actually, like you said, started the main race 13th, but it looked like his race pace was good. But he did qualify on 1 lap speed 37th. So I don't know how he had so much speed in clean air too. Like even when he got to the lead in the main race.
Well, and that's
slow.
Well, that's the thing. As we've touched on, like when we went to the States and did the behind-the-scenes stuff. If you haven't watched it, go to YouTube, check it out. When they come to the track, that's the settings they've got. So, and like we kind of, I didn't half joke, but we were chatting to him, and
I said to him, "Did you try full throttle?"
Scotty said, "Did you try full throttle?" He's like, I left the lane and I was flat for 3 until I came back in the lane.
Yeah,
that's Daytona. You just have the thing pinned to the firewall until you lift off to come back in the lane. That's where I sort of jokingly said to him, I said, well, let's hope the track comes to your car then. Yeah. And he just laughed going, because...
Which it did.
I mean, and obviously maybe it did. Maybe it's as simple as that. But... yeah, I mean, maybe they set the car up as a race car, not a qualifying car, thinking it would be good enough just to get in the show, and then it's a long day. But it is interesting that, they just flatten the boards and it can make such a difference.
Yeah, and he's pushing too in the race. Like when he was in the draft, he looks like one of the guys that people are starting to trust. He was getting picked up a little bit more when he would change a lane. Some people would come down and chase him down and let him push, which was good.
Yeah, I noticed he started the lanes a couple of times too. Like he'd go higher, he'd drop low. Like he was happy to get out there and copper push and actually create a run.
Whereas I think last year people would see him go high and not trust him.
And they go, fuck that, we're going middle or low.
And not go with him. So that was good. I even heard at one point, I think it was Shane went to Josh and said, can you go check with Larson Spotter that what I'm doing is okay? And Josh came back like, yep, they're stoked with the push, so that's fine. And in those races, I think that's really important. Like building the trust of everyone you're racing against must be number one, you'd say.
Yeah, so that was a shout out to SVG. Great job, mate. You did us all. I know you would have wanted the win, but, I thought it was good to watch. And I think, you're 2 from 2 at the moment for showing people that it's coming, which is awesome. So spoke to his spotter, Josh, and just sent him a message. They're pumped for the next round, which I think is Atlanta next week? We've got
it in Echo Park.
Echo Park. Yep. So they're pumped, they're fired up, ready to go. He made a joke that it's funny how much harder Shane's driving now. There's 97 on the side of the car, and it kind of looks that way.
Yeah.
So now that it's his number and his old man's number, Shane's got the gloves back on and he's punching on, so it's good. So well done.
Did Shane put everyone on notice?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
I mean, we've been saying it, man. Like,
yeah.
You're going to get the keyboard warriors. You don't know what he's fucking talking about. But, I mean, the proof's in the pudding. Back half of last year, he was averaging 13 on ovals in his rookie year.
Yeah.
He's led laps the first 2 rounds this year.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I would say yes.
Good. I agree. Carson Hocevar, here we go. What do you got to say, mate?
I'm like you. I like they call him the Hurricane because just there's always something going on around him.
And you were right. Well, I caught up with you on the weekend. I thought it was Pastrana, but you are right. It was Cletus saying if you cause the wreck, more often than not, you won't be in it. Wild advice, but I think he's right. I think if you're pushing the guy turning. But it was funny because Josevai did say it doesn't work when you're the only one in the wreck.
Yes.
Yeah, you tend to wreck. But here's Carson debriefing his Daytona 500.
Well, Carson Hocevar was leading at the white flag. Carson seemingly had it in a position you wanted to do, but about 2.25 miles too short. What took place as we got down to the end of the front stretch?
Yeah, I don't really know what happened other than I felt like I got a good shot in the rear, but they were a little offset, and I was just trying to just get our lane rolling, but really proud of these guys. At least it wasn't a tire or a motor or something other freak deal. So I go to bed tonight knowing that, and knowing that I don't know what I would really do different. I was just really proud of our effort and our car, and felt like we could push no matter who it was to lead and go forward and then kind of run lanes, but I was a lot better pushing. So just felt like we were going to be in a good shot, and felt really good about today, and it was so close.
I was actually thinking, this year he's done a long-term deal with Spire.
Yes.
But I do think this is going to be a season where we see him start to hopefully sort his shit out with
He'll win races
causing trouble. Because you don't want to be known as the guy that no one wants to be around. And I think that watching Daytona, it did look like he was pretty smart in the pack. I don't think did he wreck anyone during the day?
I think so. Crack that bad boy.
Sound check.
I very much agree with you, mate. He'll win races this year at some sort of a race or, races. I know last year, quite early on, I was like, Spire's coming. I think they're a team to
watch.
They've got Carson there, very, very fast. And their cars, they're obviously doing a great job with the cars and the crew and everything like that. So I think, and like you said, mate, I just enjoy watching him race because, I don't necessarily wouldn't want to have to pass him with 2 laps to go or anything like that, or have him pushing me a lap to go at Daytona. But I think watching him, he's entertainment plus, and he's always giving 100%. And he might do some shit sometimes that some of the drivers don't agree with, but for us sitting on the couch having a beer, that's entertainment.
Yeah. The one guy you don't want to be right now is, I would say, Justin Allgaier.
Yeah.
I feel like, he made it in, and this is the risk with motorsport. You go from highs to lows, and you have the excitement of making it in and leading the Daytona 500 and doing a mega job, and then left just enough gap and was probably a little bit late on the block again on Denny. And Denny said on his podcast he'd committed 100 metres before that I'm going to the outside because he had seen what Allgaier was doing and not quite covering off the top as much as he should have.
Yeah.
And then tried to shut it down too late, and he ended up taking out Gilliland. He took out Hamlin in the end. Hamlin hit him, but it was really caused by Allgaier. It took out Cindric, Larson and Bowman. Obviously, a lot of them continued on and rejoined the race, but that was a big shunt and not what they needed. At the end of the stage, when you look at Allgaier, so he's not in championship contention.
Yeah.
He doesn't need the stage points. He needs to finish.
Yeah.
So I think staying in the race till the end, the finish is what he was looking for, not stage points. Whereas someone like, or anyone he's racing at that point, they want stage points.
Yeah.
So they're going to race more aggressively at that point in the race than he needs to.
Yeah, it's a shame because that program, I enjoy following that program. It's Junior Motorsport, backed by Hendricks as well. Hendrick run that as well.
Good donk, they reckon. Good engine.
Yeah.
Said that a few times across the weekend.
So I was looking forward to them having another good show. They ran top 10 last year in the race. Car looks wicked. But, unfortunately, I agree with you. And then I heard Denny said, it's, Allgaier put his hand up, said that was all me, but Denny says 20% him because, as you said, he's like, I'm going top regardless.
Yeah.
And then he got a nice little bump from Blaney.
Yeah.
And then Allgaier was just too slow for the block.
Yeah. And then when you flip it, like Denny said, might have been on his too, or Jared, who's with him, said that maybe when you look at it from your perspective, you probably shouldn't have been racing as hard as you were as well, because it's easy to say that maybe Allgaier shouldn't have raced them as hard, knowing he needs to make the end, but it goes both ways. They're the guys that are in championship contention racing a guy who's not. So you've got something to lose, he doesn't. But it's car racing at that speed.
Yeah. And you're bang on. And like Denny said, that's what I'd do different again. I would have been smart Denny versus hungry Denny.
Isn't it wild, like how experienced he is, yet hindsight? This is where...
I think it shows how much he wants it this year too.
Yeah.
Like he always wants it. We know he's a demon like that, but I just think, it was too early there's people taking risk early, knowing that it's going to come down the last lap.
Yeah.
Like if you're in the top 15 last lap, you're a chance at Daytona.
I feel like it's like everything though, isn't it? Like you have to review every decision made, goes back to like the 12 hour.
Yeah.
Hopefully those officials don't get offended and actually go back and look at what they did. Because when Jared on the podcast said to him, maybe you should have done something different and maybe you realised who you're racing at that point. Yeah. And Danny said straight away, for sure, that's the 20%. That's what I need to go back and look at. And for a guy that experienced, he's still taking on the criticism. He's still analysing himself going, fuck, what could I have done different? And I think it does go for anything that we do. Yeah. And usually you just only hear it often from the best. Because those that aren't that good tend not to look internally. They always look at what other people should have done, or they'll deflect, or they'll look at comments and just be like, oh, this is hate. It's like, well, is there any justification to the hate? Is there anything we could have done? Yeah.
Is there 1% that you could have changed? And that's actually a great point, mate. The best are very good at self-reflecting.
Yep.
Where they promote it or not, it's fine, but they do go and think about it and they come back better.
Definitely, yeah. What about the fuel saving?
Yeah, I mean, I know Blaney, there's a few things throughout the race. The fuel saving's one thing. I actually found that half interesting because people are on different fuel strategies, the game between the spotters and the crew chiefs knowing, so some would tell the front cars, use full throttle, we want to drain this guy that's running fifth because we know that we're ahead of them on fuel, like try and push the speed to cause them to have to stop.
Yep.
And some were trying to block the speed, so they weren't using fuel. I know Blaney, I think, teared up about the Toyotas when they got to the front. They were running the 3 lanes. They were doing 52-second laps when, like usually, it was 47. They were just slowing the whole field down. He had the shits with that.
It is interesting, isn't it? And it does create runs. I heard one of the journalists talking about, it might have been Bob Puckeris, talking about 20 years ago when we didn't have fuel-saving races, we'd have the cars running wide open, single lane up the top for 100 laps and no passing. So... I think that it'd be cool to see them run wide open, but straight away then you've just got to train the cars and the draft isn't as big because someone's got 40% throttle left they can actually use if they want to get past someone. It's just whether or not you want to use it at that point in the race. So it does create runs and it does actually mean there's a lot of overtaking and people can move forward. If they think they've qualified out of position or they're feeling good and they want to use it early, they can.
I think it definitely turns the race into a game of chess versus, as you say, it'd just be one lane, haul and ass for an hour or two before they then decide to crash into each other.
Kyle Busch actually quickly just backed out of it at the end as well. I think it was the right move. He's getting some heat online about it, but when you're racing for a championship as well, you're running 30th. You might as well, he's like you said, I'm not racing to the wreck.
Yeah, and RCR don't need to be shunting, like they need to be trying to find speed in their cars, 100%. Not repairing cars. They need, they don't need to be welding cars back together and stuff. They need to spend every day they can on going faster because they're struggling a bit for car speed. So I think that was a smart call by him.
Yeah, definitely. NASCAR schedule, we are off to Echo Park Speedway next. That's this weekend. Auto Trader 400. It's actually 400.4 miles, 260 lapper. Last year it was won by Seabell, and Seabell actually won this one and then went on to win the next 2.
He did.
So he went on a 3-peat run.
And then I'm excited because then they go to Circuit of the Americas, so we get a road course.
I know. Shane actually said in his interview he's been shit there, so always had shit results. So
he's been good, but it hasn't gone his way.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting. I'm sure that he'll be at the front though. But I thought it was cool last year. There was actually a few. I think it was Kyle Busch at the front. There's a few actually. Seabell was always good, like you said. So he'll be.
Larson will be there. There'll be the usuals, mate. It'll be good.
Supercars.
Let's do it.
Spanner in the works this week. So they did have some repairs to the track. I do have some notes there on the track. So due to circumstances beyond Supercars' control, the preseason test on Wednesday, 18th February, will now be conducted on the Druitt circuit, which is the really tiny, it's actually the ride day track. You and I have done a million laps there back when we were doing coaching laps.
PTSD from that track.
So the Druitt track, Sydney Motorsport Park, it's 2.8 Ks long, actually. Little fun facts, it's very small. But Sydney Motorsport Park is currently undertaking urgent capital works at Turn 8 after the track surface was damaged by a rising water table causing water to seep through the asphalt. Now, these works require the installation of drainage and full resurfacing of the affected area. So Turn 4 and Turn 8 was resurfaced, I think all the way through Turn 9, actually. But it sounds like it's turned shit real fast. I don't know if there was a flood or some kind of some issue across the weekend that then they've rocked up Monday and gone, holy shit, and notified Supercars, but it's very late notice. And it did throw a spanner in the works because Supercars meant to be testing Wednesday this week. And what they've ended up doing, so I put a post out saying that it is a problem for Supercars, I think. I can go into why in a second, but what they've actually done is they've split the test day into 2 now because all the teams were aligned that this is an absolute waste of fucking time going to that track, high deg. It's the chicane there on the Druitt circuit is actually so bad these days that our cars, you have to lift and coast through there because they bottom out so hard. So every team was aligned. Some teams wanted to cancel the test day completely. They were heard Team 18 wanted it shut down straight away.
Yeah.
But then that affects teams that have rookies. They really need the laps because Supercars have made this test day compulsory. It's so late in the piece. Yeah. No one has an opportunity to cancel this and go and test somewhere else. So they're fucked. And
we've got a new manufacturer on the grid that need to run laps to see what's going on.
This is the problem with an official test day this late in the piece as well with an issue like this. If something happens, even if it happens to a team, say a team has an issue and they can't attend, say there's a problem with the car or someone gets injured, you then miss your test day completely because you can't schedule it earlier in the season. You've only got your shakedowns and the like. But what they've done is they've split the test day into 2 days now, which I think is a great compromise. So it's been dumped in Supercars lap, and I think they've acted accordingly. So Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. will be the short lap, the Druitt circuit.
Yep.
And then the full circuit is going to be available to the category Thursday, 5:30 p.m. till 9:30 p.m.
Yep. So they'll do.
I think it's good compromise.
Yeah, I think so. I think, it's a shame. I think some people might have thought that we were taking the piss out of Supercars, but it's actually ARDC's problem. They own the track, run the track.
Well, that's why I said this is a problem for Supercars. Yeah. I didn't say this is...
No, it's not their problem, but they've had to deal with it and come up with a solution, which they've done. So good on them. But yeah, it's. I feel for them. Opening round. You got the category test day, and then 2-3 days prior to cars meant to be hitting track, they're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like it's bad optics for them. And it's got nothing to do with them, but it's a shit sandwich that they've managed to come up with a compromise, which is good. But it will be a waste of time. I don't know if people will maybe people will run around do an engine check and shit, and maybe bed some brakes on that small thing. Maybe I don't know. But what would you? It'd be a waste, right?
Time. Even the whole test day is, in my opinion, waste time because you don't have enough tyres that last on a track like that.
Yeah.
So if you're going to even try and watch remotely because the public's not allowed this year, no point. Watching live timing, good fucking luck. Some cars will be 5 seconds a lap off the pace till they throw a tyre on it, and even when they do, the tyre's probably 100k old.
Just go road a set of wets in case it rains on the weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Do one lap, park her up, good to go, boys.
And I spoke to a few people about the cost of testing. And they said actually by removing test days, the big teams often just incur a larger cost because they switch to sim. So it's actually cheaper to bring back. We could have 10 test days and just ban sim.
Proper testing. Well, that's what they should do.
And it will be cheaper. So the category again, and what they did, they said, this is where I get really frustrated because I'm like, and I know it sounds like I'm criticising, but I'm like, fuck, it drives me mad that we only have 13 or 14 events. We're at 14, I keep forgetting. It's not many anyway. But we're gravitating more towards NASCAR because Supercars and NASCAR are competing against each other. Like I said last pod, the domestic shit, it doesn't matter anymore. NASCAR and Supercars compete directly. And when they're on every week, it's easier to stay in touch with NASCAR. So we have to get to 18, 20 events. No choice. And if that means like single-day events, 2-day events, like NASCAR do, we've got to. But eliminating an Enduro co-driver test day and then celebrating that we're actually doing like 3 races on a weekend instead of 2 or even 1. And then we've got a 5-week break. Like you go Melbourne Grand Prix, cool, we've got 5 weeks. Well, we're going to do 10 podcasts in that time.
Well, throw in F1. Between F1 and NASCAR alone, we will do nearly 60 pods this year.
Yeah. So we need to reduce the cost of going racing for race weekends. Someone commented, it was a silly comment, but it was like the cost of the test day is not much. It's $450 a head, and it's also potentially mechanics' relationships with their partners. Yeah. When you start talking 7 days a week, we're going away to go racing, people can't do it. You can't spend 7 days away from your family. Like, they don't realise it's not sustainable. We can't get staff. So the cost is not just financially for the teams, but it's also for the people that work within the sport. We need to minimise the time we go away, increase the number of events so that we're not competing. Like I think it was Marcus said, we're actually competing against, mowing the lawn or spending time with your families on weekends. It's not just that anymore. Because of our iPhone and KO and everything, we're competing with every sport globally now. The competition, when we're not on track, is on track. So we need to minimise that gap. And going to Sydney for a controlled test day, a compulsory test day, when people could go to Winton for a day trip with no accommodation or go to QR for the same, just there and back in the day.
Yeah, it's like going to work
4 times for the same cost.
Yep.
Same as tyres. I had this conversation with the team owner yesterday. Said the tyres aren't saving us any money. We spend twice as much as we ever did because we need more rims now with the wheel speed sensors and stuff. So some conversation needs to be had. But unfortunately, in this instance, Supercars got screwed. It's not their fault. The track's fallen apart. And there's resurfacing. Like, I think the big panic was turn 4's been resurfaced and turn 8 and 9, I believe. So on the short track, no one was going to get to run on it. So it's a bit of a shit sandwich on multiple avenues.
I agree, Scott. Sound check.
That's my thoughts, though, on costs. I want to smash that out fast because I would love to see us just race more weekends. But that's that. Now, last year, we'll do a recap. Well, actually, we should do the schedule first.
Let's do the schedule, eh?
So Wednesday, we know Thursday is the test now.
Yep.
Do you want to run through Friday, Saturday, Sunday when they're actually on track?
Yeah. Friday, 1:55 p.m., 45-minute practice 1. Probably going to be the first real indicator on what's happening. Then they have...
Who's top in practice 1?
Ooh, great question. You've put me on the spot. And I'm going to say Will...
Damn it.
Brown.
Will always tops practice 1. It's like he jokes about it. All right, I'll go someone else. You know what? I'm going to go a Toyota.
Yep.
I'm going to say, Chaz, Ryan Wood.
See, I was thinking of going Cam Hill because he's a bit of an SMP specialist, I think. Spends a lot of time there, but I don't know if the Toyota's going to roll out that competitive.
I'm just doing it because I'm having a punt on a Toyota. And I think the only reason to say Woody is I think he topped a practice a couple of years ago. So
I like it.
Let's do that.
4:20 p.m. Boost Mobile qualifying for race 1, 35-minute session. Long quali sesh considering you'll get 1 lap before the cheese grater grates those tyres, but that's cool. Race 1 is 7:50 p.m. And that is 26 laps, which will be awesome. Love the night racing. Always exciting. We remember we had that absolute belter last year with Cam and Brock and everyone duking on. Hopefully we get a remake of that. That'd be good. Saturday, 3:40 p.m., 35-minute Boost Mobile qualifying for race 2. 4:35 p.m. we've got the shootout, top 10 shootout, which will be great. And then 7:35 p.m. race 2, 52 laps, so a little bit longer that one, which will be a cracker hopefully again. And then on Sunday, 12:10 p.m. there's a 35-minute Boost Mobile qualifying.
The on-track entertainment, I just left that in there by accident. So
you were trying to catch me out there.
Yep.
Good on you, mate. Boost Mobile top 10 shootout at 1:05. Again, enjoy the shootouts. And then race 3 is at 4:05 p.m., another 52 lapper.
Lovely. I still advocate, I reckon, 1 top 10 shootout for the weekend, if at all. I think sometimes they're overdone, but I do love a top 10 shootout. And Sydney's always interesting because turn 1, it's tough to get the tyre in. So you actually often see some cars will need a slow lap because you can lose 2-3 tenths in turn 1 with understeer. So shootout, I think the shootout's interesting there. But last year, Cam Waters absolutely dominated. Didn't matter if it was top 10 shootout or qualifying. He got 3 pole positions and 3 race wins.
He did. And just as a form guide for the remaining competitors, Brock was second in all 3 as well. Is that accurate?
Yes. Well, I hope it's accurate. Unless I fuck that up.
No, it looks right. There you go. So Cam and Brock
dominated.
Locked out the front row every time. One of the qualies we had Matty Payne in 3rd. Chaz was 3rd in the 2nd. And then Brody was 3rd in the 3rd. So that gives you a bit of a form guide on who should be strong on 1 lap pace.
The surprise for me was it was a bit of a mixed order in qualifying, but then the first race of the weekend was a Ford Cup, top 4 Fords. And to be honest, across the weekend, I actually thought, I even put in the notes, if it wasn't for 888, it was nearly a Ford Cup all weekend.
They had more aero, mate. I reckon that's why they went good there. We know they had more aero.
And why did they suck at the Melbourne Grand Prix? Because I did put down
too much drags, too long there.
Yeah, maybe.
That's why I complain about motors.
Yeah, right.
We've worked it out.
The Ford needs more, what did I say? Ford needs more grunt.
Yeah.
That's what it was. No, the Chev needs more grunt. Anyway, moving on. So, yeah, it was Cam Waters' weekend.
Yeah.
6, mate. Every time they hit the track, he was fastest. Got a couple questions here, some talking points. Feel free to put these in the comments as well. Okay, this is it's a bit of a shit question, to be honest. I should have worded this differently, which I'll rephrase it. But what I put in there, can Toyota or Chev be fast? Because I think it was because last year was very much...
For their sake, I hope so, mate.
I think I meant, can they win a race? But in saying that, I probably said that because last year, 3 qualies, 3 races was won by a Ford, and if it wasn't for the 2 Red Bull cars, there was really no...
Ford Cup.
I think they were the only Chevs on the podium at all across the weekend from 3 races. So,
Ford Cup there for sure.
Well, okay, I'll change it quickly. Can the Toyota or a Chev win a race this weekend? And who do you think could win?
Yeah, I'm going to say I think it can. If I'm going to call a Toyota to win, I'm going to say Chaz.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm going to throw a Chev in the mix to win, I'm going to say... I'll give you 3 that I think Chevs that could potentially win, and you'll be surprised potentially. Jack LeBrock, Anton, and Dave Reynolds.
All right, so you pick about 50% of them. I'm going to go.
Fuck. I'm giving you a spread.
Yeah. We did call you fucking Humpty Dumpty last week, sitting on the fence.
Splinters is my new nickname.
We'll go to the predictions in a second. I'll come back to mine. But DJR, I think there's a lot of pressure on them this weekend. There's no excuses with Brody anymore. Last year, I think we picked him for a win in the first or second round.
I said first round.
Yeah, I think I might have been Melbourne Grand Prix because you'd have to be an idiot if you didn't think that in a way because they plug and play. It was all the best engineers over. And at a track where DJR had pole the year previously, and then last year, really, they failed to launch in a way. Dave had a really tough weekend. Brody had the one good quali, but was kind of mid-pack in the top 10, mid of the top 10 all weekend. So pressure's on them.
How do you think they'll roll out? What are you expecting?
I was going to put that on you first. I think Brody will get a podium, but only one. I think DJR have their work cut out for them this year as a Ford team, and I don't know why because they do have really good people, but I don't know why last year, like at Sydney Motorsport Park when a Ford dominated, why was it just one of them? So I think if it's a Ford again, I think Cam's hard to beat. I still think Cam Waters is going to be very hard to beat.
Yeah.
But then I see T8 being the next best Ford team. So I see Brody getting one podium in one of the races. And that's it. Could be wrong. Probably will be. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I've got no idea, but I just have a feeling like they're going to be strong.
You reckon DJR's will come up?
I've got no reason to why I think that. I just, when you just get a feeling and you think, I think they're going to be strong this weekend.
Yeah, there's literally no past history to prove it, but you could be right.
Well, you know me, mate. I don't like the data getting in the way of a good story. So
that's true. Anton last year, you probably picked a good one there. You did pick all the Chev drivers, but Anton did get top 10 in all races last year.
Anton's good there.
So I think he's a good pick this weekend. And then the other one I've put under pressure isn't a team, but a driver, Randall. Randall's confidence, even out of the 12 hour, it's the risk sometimes of those extra races. I think he was having a good time. He was smiling more than anyone in the lane. But he had the little spin. He'll be feeling down about that. And then if he goes to this weekend again, like he didn't really register last year when Cam absolutely dominated. And like you look at F1, if that was F1, they'd be doing mid-season driver changes with that gap.
Yeah.
Because really Cam had the gap of like a Verstappen to a teammate and or even worse. But
I
this is going to be a big year for him, I think.
I agree. It is a risk when you're benchmarking yourself against
one of the best.
Well, he benchmarked himself on the weekend against Chaz, champion last year, and Cam, who we know is one of the best, no doubt about it. So you run the risk of, well, if you are third fastest in the car, does that knock your confidence around, or what does that do for your mental state?
Yep.
And then if you have something go wrong like he did in the race, and it's potentially not good. So hopefully he bounces back. But it can, my point is that stuff can stuff up your confidence. So hopefully he's able to erase that and move on to this weekend. But it is the challenge when you do that stuff, when you put yourself up against people. You open yourself up to either feel like shit, look great, feel amazing, or on the flip side, it can go against you. So
one last one before we get in our predictions. It's a prediction anyway, the question. If Ford have 6 poles, 6 race wins again, 3 poles, 3 race wins, it's a Ford. Obviously, we have new Ford teams. Who's the Ford driver or team that dominates the weekend? Is it Cam again, or do you think the tables will turn to a different Ford team?
I hate saying it because people go, "Oh, you guys fucking love Triple H," but
it's like when Scafey got so much hate. Sorry, Scafey always got so much hate for Dick riding Triple A.
Yeah,
I think he just talked like about how good they are.
Yeah,
like but not. Like when Neil Crompton would talk about Macaulay Jones all the time, that's Hino, that's all the sponsors at BJR that he's an ambassador for. But I think when Scafey genuinely talked about TA, I think he was just saying like they're the benchmark.
Yeah, I think.
So don't let it.
Yeah, I think if it's going to be my bet between the top 4, it'll either be Triple Eight, and I'm 98% leaning towards Triple Eight, or DJR, or Brody will just come out and do what Cam did last year and just spank everyone. They're my two. I'm on the fence. Standard splinters on both of those.
I'm picking Cam again.
Okay.
I reckon, like, it might take Triple Eight a little while to find the window with the Ford. The thing is, the Ford's changed a lot from what I've heard as well. So I think all cars, Chev, Ford, it might be a totally different setup for all of them. So everyone could be learning again.
That's why I feel like it's going to be the team that can adapt the quickest will do the best job at Sydney because everything's changed.
Yep.
Even just minute little changes that's happened. So I think those with resources and the best people, not necessarily the best drivers, the best people, will come up on top, and that's why I'm thinking.
I'm having fun here. So these aren't in.
I'm glad you're enjoying yourself, Scott.
I'm having fun throwing questions at you and seeing, right, so I'm thinking on the fly here. Rookies. I don't see any rookies this weekend under pressure. We're talking about drivers under pressure. I think there's a few. I think Brody is under pressure, not in terms of contract or anything like that, but the pressure's on now. Like
he has to deliver. He's the big money man.
Like if he's not winning.
Yeah. No, he has to.
I don't know what you do. But so there's a few people under pressure. But rookies, I don't think there's necessarily pressure. But the first weekend, who is coming out on top as the highest placed rookie?
I'm just trying to think who's probably going to be best on managing the tire, because as we know, tire dig there is a fucking nightmare.
I will say, what do you say? Prerequisite? No, fuck, that's not right. That's a reference. What
are you trying to
preface that with, if the car's good at Sydney,
it looks after its tyres.
It's so easy. Like everyone says the tyre whisperer. I've had cars there where you've passed 20, and I've had ones where I've started 5th because it qualified well, and I've finished 24th.
I'm just trying to think who's a rookie in a team that is normally historically good with that stuff.
Zach Bates, MSR.
Yes, I think
that could be. I just thought of that. They're usually quite good there.
Yeah. And
Zach's qualified in the top 10.
He would have done 4 million laps around there too, I reckon. Not that really matters at that level, but sometimes it helps with confidence. Yeah, I don't mind Batesy. I'm actually going to say Jackson Walls.
Okay.
Again, my theory on the team can help you as a rookie with a lot of that stuff. People around you, processes.
I actually think I think you're right. I think Jackson can qualify in the 10. And then I think it depends on all the rookies. Like we saw last year, Kai got muscled around a bit at the start of the year, and he's a standout.
I think the racing...
So the racing is going to be a bit of an unknown.
Yeah, I think the racing might take Jackson a little bit because it's obviously coming from Carrera Cup. They don't hip and shoulder much in Carrera Cup. It's probably a bit of a slower pace from that point of view.
Mate, perfect example. Zach Bates qualified in the 10 and was last, I think, at the end of the first lap at QR.
Yes.
So, no criticism of Jackson. This could be, he could qualify in the 10. He could make a shootout and then be last at the end of the first lap because people they muscle you out and there's no gaps to slot into in main game.
Yeah, I think every rookie is either going to take a few rounds to either tear a few front bars off it or whatever, or knock a few mirrors off in being aggressive and not trying to lose positions, or you'll get walked over a little bit before you get a feel for it. That's just standard stuff, right?
Yeah. I picked Ojeda, but I'm actually regretting that only because of the Chev. I'm not sure. I think Ford is going to be strong this year, like through the first few rounds. No, I'm sticking with it. Fuck it. Ojeda.
Okay.
That's my pick for the top rookie this weekend.
To be honest, I think the rookies are kind of exciting.
It's fun.
It's exciting because all of them are very, very similar, I would say, in speed, skill, all that stuff. So we could have 5 of them potentially in a little huddle, just like
boxing on,
throwing haymakers the whole time, which would be awesome for it.
Well, actually, shout out to Supercars. I'm not sure if they watched episode 100 or saw our short form content, but today, 2 days out from the first test day, they published. You sent it to me and said, "Holy shit, they've promoted the rookies." So we had the first rookie for Rylan Gray, the first social media content. Again, it was just a Photoshop title.
Told us where his hometown was and how old he was. Awesome.
It's the most we've heard. It's the most we've seen of him. So that's an improvement.
Yeah.
We're here for small steps forward. Race winners, there's 3 races. Who have you got for the 3 race wins? I've already got mine if you want me to, because you didn't add to this.
You go.
Cam for 2, Will for 1.
I like it. I'm going to go Brody for race 1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Matty Payne, race 2.
Geez, I've slept on Penrite here, right? Yeah.
And I'm going to go a Smokey, and I'm going to go Anton for a win in race 3.
Oh, okay. The only other one I've got left before we wrap this podcast up is best placed Toyota. Where are they finishing on the weekend? Did you you didn't pick one for a win then. So, again, you didn't contribute to your notes here, so I'll give you 2 seconds to think about it.
I go off the cuff, brother. I don't need notes.
I know. I just have a think about it, man. I put it down. I put thought into it, so I'm not sitting here while people are driving down the road or
tell us who you got.
YouTube.
What do you got?
Chaz, P6.
All right.
6th is the top Toyota, I'm saying. I don't know why, but it took me fucking half an hour to pick that one.
I've got Cam Hill 4th at some stage.
Okay.
Don't know which race. It's going to happen.
I like it. Well, there you go, folks. KO this weekend. Fox 506. If you want to watch Supercars, they're back. Finally. We get to see some of the best car racing.
Let's go racing, huh?